Boa noite a todos. We're here with our dear friend Julie Dzerowicz, Member of Parliament for Davenport. Julie, bem-vindo to FPTV again.
Bom, prazer estar aqui com vocês.
Every time I see you, Julie, your Portuguese is getting so much better. It's a pleasure to be with you. Let's get right down to business. There's all kinds of stuff that's happening. More specifically, Trump and the tariffs. Can you enlighten us on what's going on? And I also became aware that you were appointed to the Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So parabéns, Julie.
Obrigada.
Another important task on your plate. Mm-hmm. So tell me, what does this new job duty entail? And how is this going to help Canada, specifically as it relates to Trump and the tariffs?
So you're right. There's a lot of concern within the community about the impact of Trump tariffs on the Canadian economy and on jobs. So there's three key things that's being done, and I want the community to be very clear about them. One, job number one, our federal government is right now strengthening the Canadian economy. And how we're doing that? We're eliminating these red tape and rules and regulations and trade barriers between our provinces. So it makes it easier for us to trade and grow our businesses across Canada, as opposed to growing it across the Canada-US border. The second thing we're doing is we are meeting with our European counterparts, we're meeting with Australian counterparts and other partners around the world that we already have trade agreements with, so that we could redirect the trade, some of the trade, not all of it, but some of the trade that we are doing with the US, and we're redirecting it to Europe and to other places. It's not going to be overnight, but we're starting to work on that. And that's been part of my job, not only in my new role, but in my past role as well. And the last thing we're doing is we're preparing to retaliate against President Trump tariffs. And we want to do it in a smart way. We're trying to make sure it's targeted and it's going to have as minimal impact as possible on the Canadian economy and on Canadian jobs. And I will tell you, Bon, I was at a few events over the weekend and everybody says, Julie, what happened to your wrists? They said, did you punch out Trump? And I said, no, I did not. It was unfortunately a ice hockey incident. I was playing with our Minister of Immigration here in Davenport, and unfortunately I fell down and I broke my wrist, but 4 more weeks.
That's truly Canadian.
It is very Canadian. It is.
So it sounds to me, Julie, that this is a worldwide initiative, a worldwide effort to try and combat Trump and all of this talk about the tariffs. And it seems that Canada's taking a leadership role in this.
Well, so you're right. So I just came back from Europe for a week in Europe, in Brussels and in Paris. Europe is also being threatened by Trump on these tariffs. And so what happens is that they're also preparing their retaliation as well. And they're saying to Canada, we love you. We love you. We want to do more trade. We already have the foundation in place through the Canada-Europe trade agreement. So we already have the framework in place for us to trade. Now what we need to do is just make sure that we're sending goods and services back and forth and using that trade agreement that we already have in place. So they're worried and they want to work with Canada, and they also are preparing to be impacted by Trump as well.
So to make sure that we don't become the 51st state, correct?
Yes. Look, a lot of people have talked to me about that. Look, Trump is calling Canada the 51st state. It is enraging that another democratic country is calling us a state. We are an independent, sovereign country. We are a strong country, and we are not going to become the 51st state of the United States of America.
I know that with you on the job, it's certainly going to work well, because I know that you're very, very dedicated. You love the Portuguese community, and here we are serving the Portuguese community. So if you have a couple more words, because our interview is coming to an end, for the Portuguese community, specifically how it relates to this interview and the Trump tariffs, and where do you see this going from here onward?
Estou aqui para servir. And I would just tell anybody, if there's anything I can do to be helpful, please contact my office at 416-654-8048. Obrigada.
So, Julie, I hope to see you here again soon so we can continue on with these discussions, because it's always great to have you here. And for all you people at home, pode sempre contar com a FPTV to bring you the latest and the up-to-date information. Boa noite.
Boa noite.